Now, we are going to move forward in the sense that we are looking at the virtual accreditation process in Malaysia and what are the challenges and the solutions in times of the uncertainties. Can we move on to the next slide? Okay, Malaysia, basically Board of Engineers Malaysia has become a full signatory member of the International Engineering Alliance. We have been the full signatory for Washington Accord in 2009 and then the Sydney Accord and the Dublin Accord in 2018. So as such, we are to be benchmarked against the International Engineering Alliance standard, and therefore all the engineering quality education that we have in the country has to be of the standard of what is expected at IEA level. And we also would like not to compromise all of our accreditation standard, and we will always look into how to establish the international benchmark standards. And we would like to also ensure that all of our engineering accreditation processes in the country will be done in a similar fashion. So basically, we should be looking at that we are also looking for the IEE, the ITA and the ETAD agreement under IEA, now that we have already become a member of APEC and also IPR professional signatory. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, now this is a Board of Engineers presence throughout the world. There are not many, but they are very significant in the sense that ever since that we became the full signatory member to the Washington Accord, we have actually become the nominator, the mentor, and also the reviewer. And to start with, we started way back with, I think we started way back with Pakistan, and then we move on also to even becoming the reviewer to Australia, and currently we have actually moved up to even becoming the reviewer to India, which is of a recent 2019, which has been announced in the recent 2020 meeting. So we are probably looking forward for the 2021 with Kenya in order to become the nominator and also probably the mentor. So with those experiences that we have within our council members and with all the panel members that we have trained with our system, we are probably looking at how we can move forward into the leadership, the academic excellence leadership through the engineering accreditation processes with all the accords, with the Washington Accord, the Sydney Accord, and also the Dublin Accord. That means we are looking at the engineering level, we're also looking at the engineering technologies level, and we're also looking at the technician level. So moving forward in this nature, we also have to look at how we are going to ensure that we will do not compromise the engineering accreditation process in the country. Okay, the accreditation historical journey in Malaysia, we started way back in 1957, but let me share with you, in 2000, we formed the Engineering Accreditation Council. So back then, we were only concentrating at all the WA signatory. And we became the provisional member in 2003, and we work our way through in understanding what is outcome-based education, and we try to ensure that all of our program would abide by the outcome-based education. And we went into 2009 as a full signatory status. And we started to move on with our Sydney Accord and Dublin Accord equivalency in 2015, of which in 2018 we became the full signatory member. Now, after 2018, then come the year 2020, which we are looking at the uncertainties now. And that's the time when I came in as the director of the department. So when I first came in, the first thing that we need to do was actually to come out with the Tla Guiding Principle. So that was actually approved and published on the 31st of March. Malaysia came to a lockdown on the 18th of March 2020, And we have to decide on how we can actually address our TLA. And we need also to ensure that the TLA that we're going to address will be in line with our accreditation process. So we came up with the Tla Guiding Principles, and I will elaborate a bit more later. And then shortly after that, we have to come up with the accreditation SOPs. And when we came up with the accreditation SOPs, we were just looking at, okay, what can we do now in order to ensure that all the accreditation process in the country within that period, which has been stopped between March to June, and we have a backlog of accreditation that need to be done. So we came up with an SOP, and we have actually come up with certain guideline, and I will share again with you later on. And since we have probably I can call it as a second wave of the pandemic, and we are supposed to visit the Sabah and Sarawak, the east of Malaysia, and we were told that the local council will not allow any visitors to come in. So then we have no other choice because we still have to conduct the accreditation visit. So what we did was we decided on the 14th of July to start on the visit. On the 14th of July, we start our visit physically, but on the 14th of September, we have to start our virtual visit. So this is when I would like to share with you on the virtual visit accreditation that we have done so far. So it's just a couple of weeks ago. So anyway, I will share with you some of the difficulties that we have to undergo in terms of making the virtual accreditation visit. And the worrying part is in 2021, we should actually be going for a revision, a review of our WA signatory, and 2023 will be for our Sydney Accord and Dublin Accord signatory. Now, the thing is, it has been, a motion has been passed at IEA meeting recently where all the accreditation, all the review will be put forward by 1 year. So therefore, our 2021 will now be in 2022, and the 2023 SADA Accord will be moved to 2024. But then again, when 2022 review and 2024 review is going to come in, we are definitely going to ensure that all of the accreditation process that are using the Tla Guiding Principle will have to be at par or at least substantial equivalent to the normal physical visit that we have done, and also to the normal conventional Tla that we have done prior to the COVID-19 effect. So therefore, we really have to ensure from the accreditation point of view that the quality assurance will not be compromised. Now, the thing is, we started our outcome-based education way back in 1999. And then again, from there, for EAC, which is for the WA Accord equivalent, we have done 6 revisions with our standard. And for the technologies, we have done 3 revisions. And for our Dublin Accord, we also have done 3 revisions. So all of the standards that underwent serious revision from year to year. And currently, we have just approved our 2020 standard. Basically, it is a post during the MCO, which is on the 1st May of 2020. And this particular standard was also approved using. Now, when we look at the 2020 standards, we do have issues for the technologies and for the technician because of the practice-oriented component. The practice-oriented component will require the psychomotor domain.